I picked up this Dinky Eagle from Space 1999 a few weeks ago at a toy fair, and it's in fairly reasonable condition. It has most parts with it, although the paint is very worn and battered. So I plan to restore this, but rather than restoring it to its original colours here, which are sort of green and white, I want to make it look more like it did in the show, which was it had an overall white finish to it, and not so many sort of garish bright colours. I've got quite a few of these already in their original form, and they all came in these colours. Some had green fronts, some had blue fronts, and then there was a white one, which was the radioactive canister holder, which never came with this white transport section. So you can actually make one if you just sort of get the bits from two. So use the white transporting, the white canister carrying one, and use the transporting section from a green one. But I actually plan to sort of do the whole paint job myself. This comes with most parts. I was quite lucky to find it. It's got a few panels missing, which I will recreate. The back jets are loose, but that's fine actually, because I need to completely remove these to repaint it. And as you can see, the paint is pretty battered and worn all over. So first thing I need to do is take this apart. So let's get started with that. Taking the main portion of the ship apart is relatively straightforward. These old Dinky toys were actually screwed together in a few places, so you just have to remove a couple of these screws, and it all pops apart quite easily. The feet section from this ship are held together with a few sort of metal pieces inside, because the feet are actually spring loaded. If I just put this one back together, you can see there's a metal plate here that enables the feet to be pushed down and have a bit of a spring to them. So taking these apart is quite straightforward. You just remove that plate. The bottom of the landing pad section has a small pair of plastic jets. These can easily be removed using a tiny pair of pliers here. They're held in with two little pegs, as you can see here on the underside. You just need to squeeze these together and gently pull from the outside, and it will just pop out like so. There we go. And then once you're finished refurbishing, this can just pop straight back into place. It's pretty straightforward. So that's the landing section ready for having its paint removed. Here we have the top part of the vehicle. This grille section on the back is actually just a piece of plastic, so it's very easy. Once you've taken the bottom off, just to unclip this. It's not held on with any more than just these little bits there, so it's quite easy just to unhook, and I will de-yellow this at some point, and I've previously done videos on de-yellowing, so watch those to see that process. Now we have the main part of the body. Again, this is just held together with a couple of screws. There's a screw at the front and the back, so pretty easy to unscrew, and you've got that into even smaller parts. So there's the front nose section. Again, that's now ready for having the paint removed. And just unscrew the back here. So that's the middle section. That I'll just clean. I'm not going to bother painting that because I want to keep some elements of the toy like the toy, and this was never painted, so I will just leave that in its base metal state. We now have the back section here. The jets are actually held on with a rivet, as you can see in there, so I'll need to drill that out first. And then that, again, it will be in pieces ready for painting. For the transport section in the middle, this isn't screwed together, it's held together with two rivets. So again, this I will need to drill out just with a smallish drill bit, and then this will fall apart into its component pieces. Again, it has on it these small plastic jets, which will be held on in the same way as the ones on the landing gear. So you just need to squeeze the inside of those and they'll pop out, likewise these small landing legs. So let's go and drill out these rivets, and it will be ready for paint removal. Okay, so here we have the eagle split down into its component parts. I had to drill out the rivets as you saw on this transport section, but that's, once they're done it comes apart quite nice and easily. And I also drilled the rivet that held this jet section on. The jets themselves are actually held on with small rivets as well, but I think removing those could damage them, so I'm going to have to deal with this in as a sort of separate piece and paint it by hand, I think. But for these main parts I need to strip off the paint that's on there, and I need to de-yellow this plastic section, and then once it's all stripped back down to sort of bare bones, I can go about repainting it. For stripping the paint off these old metal Dinky toys, I'm going to be using caustic soda. You can pick this up from hardware stores. It's pretty nasty stuff, so when using it, be very careful. Make sure you wear protective gloves, goggles and clothing. It's very caustic and can cause some pretty serious skin burns and that, so be very careful. I'm going to go and do this outside in my garage because I don't want to do this anywhere near any sort of good furniture or good appliances. So let's take this outside and I will strip the paint off, and we can then see how the toy looks with nothing on it. It takes about 10 minutes to get the caustic soda to fully remove the paint on this Dinky Eagle. Some of the different colours take a little bit more work than others. The green paint that was on the sort of the main landing gear and front section came off very easily. The white part that was on the sort of transporter bit in the middle, not too bad, although there's quite a lot of fiddly details within that, so it took a little bit more scrubbing with a toothbrush. And the worst piece was the black paint used on the bottom of the transporter section. For some reason that seemed to be particularly hard to come off. When using the caustic soda, do be very careful. It's pretty nasty stuff. It gets very hot and can burn your skin very easily. But here are the final results. As you can see, all the paint has come off, and I'm left with a bare bones, just the metal left, and the surface is in really nice condition. So I can now get on with painting this and getting it all put back together. So check back soon for the second part of my Eagle restoration, and see how I get on getting this looking decent. So thanks for watching the first part, and see you very soon.